the concept of marathon of today compared to literally almost over 30 years ago, like 32 years ago, it's quite interesting because the lore, you could say the lore predates the Halo universe. Before Halo was a thing, this was something that Bungie was doing. A lot of stuff you see today with Bungie originally was made for Marathon. Like the alien beings are very similar to the Covenant. The protagonist of the first one kind of reminds you of the Master Chief because he has some cybernetic abilities. Um, with Halo, you have a lot of AIs, and even the form of what they call rampancy, especially with Halo 4. I know some people hate that game, but it was trying to take the lore of rampancy and trying to say what's going on. This has similar things going on with Marathon, with the first one. And then the second one, it's like a more of a years later, and also it has like a stage spot. But the lore is too deep to even talk about. I know I'm doing this off kilter because I've been like watching like old marathon lore, and when I really think about it, what they're doing to this game, it's actually kind of disgusting when you think about it. Knowing that there was so much stuff that the original creators made for the lore that made it so interesting, and they're trying to you can say jury rig it to a extraction shooter. I find it to be just absolutely disgusting because the lore should be more of a single player game, maybe like a Bioshock or System Shock s kind of game. I can understand what they're trying to do with this with the newer version because yes, they do have cybernetics and all that, and you could say that the newer marathon is basically taking place after like the first two. The third one was originally meant to be a expansion pack, and it basically has different endings of different universes. I didn't get too much deep into the lore of it, but it's complicated. It's that kind of thing where I can't even explain without trying to memorize all the names because they do like this weird naming stuff. Pre Halo, and they literally use it's weird. They spell stuff with P, some with S. They call like something called like y'all or something like that, and it's spelled with a J, two J's. It's like it's so, in my opinion, kind of pretentious. But yeah, remember, Halo and Marathon was made by fucking nerds, people that would get their ass kicked in school, and trying to put this all together, it's quite complicated. But now we're in the time where it's like when you look at this
Marathon
gameplay.
Emergency Systems broadcast today at 08.
Oh my god. This is like I was like going to show you the gameplay of it. Hold on, come on.
2 hours, the marathon came under surprise attack from unknown hostile forces.
However, I cannot teleport you out of.
Okay, so maybe I picked the wrong one, but this is like AI shit. But the gameplay kind of reminds you of Doom, and also the symbol right here. If you look on the older Halo games, yes, this symbol was here on a lot of the symbols of I think Forerunner technology. I think it was the symbol for humanity, what the Forerunners called humans in Halo. Yes, you could say Marathon did have a connection. You could say it's like the equivalent of Demon Souls comparing to Dark Souls. That's the best way you can compare it. It's a spiritual successor. That's what Halo was. Because after they got done with the series, I think they could have, maybe either remade it and use this lore instead of Halo. But I think they wanted to make that was my phone. Make the lore more grounded, you could say, maybe. I mean, none of it's very grounded. It's sci-fi mixed with philosophical nature and, abstract thinking and, a bunch of nerd shit. But they had to change it up because, like, you see, like, there's this one group of aliens that remind me of the engineers from Halo, especially from Halo ODST. I forgot what they call it already. I already forgot what they call it, but it's like a race of aliens that hack into computers, and you see them throughout the gameplay. Hold on, I think I could find it. Oh god, you gotta remember this was made back in 1994, so they did a lot of stuff. Like this game's actually has a record being the first game that has full mouse control within its game. So this game was way more advanced than it should be. And this just shows you how these fucking nerds just thought. And you already know what the gameplay is. It's so like Doom and just weird shit. But then they had to go and do this to, you could say, they did this to my boy. Oh my mouse is like going everywhere within my cords. Hey, let me show the gameplay of this.
UESC security forces have been alerted to your activity. Exit the building immediately.
I recommend you not follow those orders. Stay calm. Your newly acquired systems access will allow you to navigate the colony. Search this structure for a way out.
I'd probably need a gun or something. That'd be lovely. Okay, I don't think this is the way out.
Look for a drain or vent cover and try to break it with your knife.
What's this? Some credits! I'm guessing it's useful. So is this loot that we take home in our backpack?
There's a bunch of stuff with it. Let's get to the gameplay. I want to get to the more shooty aspect.
Fluid?
This is the first playthrough he's doing.
Can I not do like a slide?
Another runner. Check the remains for weapons and supplies. They don't need them anymore.
I can. Ooh. It's a weird sound. Right, I do see an M77 assault rifle. Don't mind if I do. So I'm guessing I can just equip that. Yep. Anything in here?
Come on, I need a little bit more. Okay, you see all this? I know some people are like, well, this is okay, but the problem is, and yes, I do have a problem with it, because they're trying to pander to a new trend of known as distraction shooters. It's not like Battle Royale. It's a mixture of, you could say, Battle Royale mixed with looting. It comes from Tarkov. And it's, in my opinion, kind of disgusting. They could have made a story narrative game. They could have done like Armored Core, because these characters are mercenaries. By the way, they're basically androids, cybernetic androids. They're synthetic humans. They're synths essentially. And they're trying to say they're mercenaries. You can pick sides, factions, including like terrorist groups within the factions, some shady organizations, some you could say possibly cultists, all sorts of weird stuff. They take kind of from the lore. I think the terrorist group is from the political faction of the old world on Mars, sort of like the rebel group that were going against like the pre-UNSC pre Halo UNFC. And the point of reason why they have it, you have that so you can get like special abilities and maybe like the PvP faction gives you more damage weapons or possibly use like as I say golden weapons or whatever, golden parts or whatever. I know some people say it's complicated, but in my opinion, the game is not actually as complicated as it is. It's just the problem is it doesn't fit with being an extraction shooter. This would be great for like as I said, a System Shock or Bioshock kind of way. This would be interesting, maybe in a more mercenary-esque, like I said with Armored Core, because Armored Core, you play as all the Armored Cores, you play as a mercenary trying to be part of, a part of the story. Some do have different endings, some don't. Armored Core is kind of, my dark. You say I like Armored Core a lot. I like that game a lot. That's my Thomas the Tank Engine. That's my Autism Rush. But before Dark Souls. But essentially, instead of doing that, they made it where now, in a way, you could say still have it that way, but the problem is, and I think many people have a problem with it, it doesn't fit it. It doesn't fit it. I know some people hate the aesthetic. I actually don't. I actually kind of like the aesthetic. But there is problems with it. I think that it went too far if it comes to, you could say, the retro-futuristic, you can say. Because I think they went... I think it's like a weird retro-futuristic. I mean, you say, well, how about the characters? Why do they look like that? Well, they're meant to be basically artificial humans made out of silk. You're basically a human that got your conscience put into a robot. That's what you are. And, I have no problem with the aesthetic, but I feel like this aesthetic can be a little bit too gradient on the eyes. Like, I think many games should embrace a lot more color, but sometimes it could be a bad idea. But I know it's weird. It has this weird dreary kind of look to it, but at the same time, it doesn't. Like, be like drearily here, and it's it has a bunch of pink, yellow, reds. There's all sorts of weird mismatch.
Sure, I don't know where that is. Is that here? Ah. Can I ping that? Aha! Okay. Can I please get out of here? Oh boy. Nope. I don't know where I'm going.
All UESC forces converge.
And the lore, if people don't know, the lore takes place, I think, 93 years after Marathon 1. It's in the universe of 2, so you can't count like the third one, Marathon Infinite. It's kind of weird. I think it's called Infinite. Because if that's the case, it makes sense why they call it Halo Infinite. Oh god, it's so sad because there was some interesting shit in this game. I'm not gonna lie, I feel like if it was just a different genre, or, instead of doing the extraction shooter bullshit, it could have been something. But they wanted to follow a fucking trend. And that's what's so disgusting about it. Knowing that it has a trend that's so desperate to try to follow. It's not good to do. Because the lore marathon was what Halo was meant to be, or you could say what was Halo thought of. And you could say before that one was another one, Path of Darkness or something, that very old game. You gotta remember, Bungie's been making games since, you could say, the early 90s. They've been doing it for a long time.
So just stay near the extra. Okay, got it. You got to do this when like
Use it to deploy
there's
your
other players
personal
around as well. Oh. Headshot. Yeah, I'm playing on PC by the way. Getting a pretty
No shit. You playing on 4K. What do you think? See, the game looks, in my opinion, I know some people hate it, but I kind of like the aesthetic. I kind of like it. I find it to be good. But the game is what I have the problem with. It's that kind of thing where maybe when the game comes out, maybe it could have some story missions where it's not entirely you deal with players. They have like we call those. I know I'm coughing as I'm doing this. They have I think 6 different classes, which I really fucking hate because it's make it too modern. I feel like they're taking the old lore that they made and trying, as I said, gerrymandering it onto here. I don't like it. I think many people don't like it. People are fucking tired of this fucking bullshit. I just want to see a new game come out that's not trying to be modern. And I don't mean by modern, but like doing all these modern stuff, trying to follow trends. And you can see the original Marathon was following trends, but they always tried to do something differently. They did a lot of innovative stuff when they first came out. This, it feel like the few minority things that's unique, it's been overshadowed by the extraction shooter slop nonsense.
decent FPS. I wouldn't say it's utilizing the GPU much, but it's pretty solid. By the way, the Server Slam, whatever it's called, demo is available to Xbox, PS5. You can find it on Steam. It's completely free. So you guys want to check out the game for yourself. I'm guessing we did good. We managed to extract. The art style was growing on me.
See, it's interesting because if you look at like the gameplay, you see like the teleportation, like many of the weird systems. You even see a I'm not sure if we ever have that gun on here. I'm not sure. They have a pre-plasma pistol on like the original Marathon that you could tell was just outright, made on Marathon. But after, when Halo came out, this is made again just for Halo. It had to overcharge as well. Same thing with the alien guns and the even the alien creatures within what they call it, the Four. They call them the Four or the Four. It's almost like Forerunner, but before they call it the Forerunners, they call it the Four, and it's so weird, so interesting, but at the same time, it's like, and now they're doing this to this game.
A lot to take in. You don't really know what the stuff.
Now, this game here, it's also using it has AIs as well. This one's called Oni. Actually, it's kind of funny. I was like, look at the lore, the AIs on here. The not as interesting as like the one from the original Marathon. Like there's 3 AIs on the first Marathon. 1 is normal, 2 are basically crazy or running rampant. These don't have those AIs. Some say there's because there's a quote from the original. You could say antagonist / the person one AI that went rampant. And there's like a quote in here, and some think that he may return. And I'm thinking they could do something with this. They can, but they had to put it on this shit. People are bitching about the way the game is if it comes to the not just the lore, but just how they're doing it. Because I remember when this game was like coming out, and people found out they stole they stole art from other people, and they had to take it out en masse because the artist was pissed off, and we don't know if the people making this truly understands what the original creators of this actually understood with the original Marathon. Did they play the games properly? Did they try to understand the lore and understand the philosophy? Maybe. But same time, as I said and many others, why they had to put into the extraction shooter, it's beyond me. It's beyond me, and it's sad because when you look at it, you realize there's good shit in it, and it's going to be in this kind of shit. And I wish it wasn't like this, but that's how it. Oh shit! You could tell that. Even here we go. Here we go. See these creatures? They're basically the engineers before the engineers. From Halo.
The only recourse for the Martians was to shut down the Martian planetary net. Even then, it took 2 full years to completely root out the damage that Traxxas had done. And the repercussions.
Yeah, this is just basically using AI or maybe some weird person. I don't know. I just picked this random shit to show you the gameplay. But that was pre-engineer. But damn, they're really going to try to make something out of the lore out of this game and make it to a extraction shooter. It's like, are they going to kill a perfectly good franchise? And that's what I and many others noticed. Now, I'm an outsider to this game. I never played this game. This game's beyond my time. Literally. It was made before I was born. And, look at it, I've been like kind of getting deep into the lore. It's like, I feel so bad for this. This is made out of passion, out of people who didn't understand, how far their games were going. It comes to if they would be like as big as you see with Halo. They were just a bunch of science fiction writers who just had a knack of making video games. And this is the turning point you see today. Even with these new what they call the protagonists you play as, called shells. That's a Ghost in the Shell reference. So yeah, they're taking multiple aspects of different, you could say, franchises. Like they're really focusing on the concepts and all that. You can see with the trailers, trying to see how they feel, all that weird shit. And I and another thing, even without all that, all of this, people play the game and it's very clunky, very slow, and not slow in the good way, not slow in the Halo 3 and 2 standpoint where you had to think about your shooting. It's that kind of game where it doesn't know if it wants to be a fast-paced shooter or a slow-paced shooter. That's a sign of confusion. That ain't good. That's a sign that they don't know what to do with it. And you also have people, particularly the modern people, who you could say want to hate this game, who just want to hate on it. And I'm not saying that they have no reason not to hate on it. I'm saying that there's some people just going on the hate banner because ever since like Concord came out, whenever people see a new IP from like either Bungie or some other group, they always assume that they're trying to make slop, just trying to feed the cattle. You can say the goys. And I understand you would hate this because it's taking an old franchise and potentially, you could say raping it. they're raping the franchise, and they kind of are in certain ways, but at the same time, they kind of do respect the lore in certain standards, but the art style is too kind of weird. But at the same time, they may have to use its art style to make it seem distinctive because of how samey games are these days. And it's not bad art style in my opinion. I just think that you know, like many people, it's like I could tell why some people wouldn't like it because of it would be straining on the eyes, and it just needs it needs a story mode. Like I think they could have had like the extraction shooter as an option. If you didn't do the extraction shooter, you could do a story mode or a story mercenary job mode where you just do story modes to kind of discover what they're trying to continue with the lore of Marathon, because it's basically taken place 90 years after the first one due to the fact of the AI sending a transmission to Earth. And they got 90 years later, so they're going back to the I forgot what to call it. It's like basically it's a planet near Earth. It's far away for us, but you know, for universal wise, it's very close to us. So it'll take about 100 years. And that's what's going on with it. And it pisses me off. I think it pisses off many people off, knowing that they're going to destroy it. They're going to destroy the franchise. This may shut down Bungie, you know, because Sony and many companies are kind of getting pissed off about, you know, buying a company and they don't do shit with the franchise or they fuck up on the franchise. So they could just fuck it up and just say fuck you on purpose, maybe. Because being forced to do it, you know, this is kind of weird. It's innovative, but being safe too, because it's taking a 32-year-old IP and hoping that they can fix it. That's what they're doing. They're taking a 32-year-old IP that has, you know, a built-in lore. It's all prepackaged, and they're trying to make new lore of it. Can they do it? Can they do it with the way because it's now an extraction shooter? Maybe. Just maybe. But we don't know. You know, now they're doing like a beta with the server testing or whatever for people to play it for free. But when it gets to I think the 5th, you have to pay for it. It'd be like $40, and I don't think people will pay for that. Now it's not that expensive. I was kind of shocked they do that $40, but it is a extraction shooter. Some people like it, some people don't. Some people feel like they're being shilled to play it, and I can agree with that. It's being shilled tremendously. And I think that's stupid to do, because you shouldn't pay people to play this. You should let people try it out. And maybe, just maybe, make a story mode. Make it where, you get enough resources from the multiplayer that could have more resources than usual, and you can just go on the story mode multiplayer, or the extraction mode story mode, and you can play the story with that. And that would be so fucking fun. I can actually understand why people will like this. But you need to give people options. Some people would love to play the story of the lore, because some people love Marathon. Before Halo, it was Marathon. Marathon was real popular. But they have a lot to work on. You know, they're slowly implementing the enemies. You know, they show like the pre-engineer in one of these trailers. It looked kind of cool looking, but we don't know what's gonna happen with them. We don't know if they're gonna fuck up. I'm making this as people are shitting on the game like tremendously, which in my opinion kind of deserve, because of they turned it into a extraction shooter. A good extraction shooter it turns into this. Not a good extraction shooter, but a good story it turns into this. Extraction shooter. And that's what's the state of the gaming industry, especially with Bungie, which they're not the same people. They're not the same people no matter how much they try. They have a lot to work with. They have to make sure they don't fuck up on this, because even though people have already kind of made up the minds and said, I'm not going to buy this game, there are some people who like lore who's going to get into it, and maybe when the game comes out with $40, it may have new shit in there, and people are like, oh shit, that's a kind of fun. But I don't know. I just made this video because I've been just watching it. I've been just so fascinated about it. That's all I have to say in this video. See ya.